After 8 rounds, the world's fastest riders have positioned themselves for a stretch run at the AMA Championship. 250 class points leader Dean Wilson and Kawasaki's 450 star Ryan Villopoto lead their respective field into round 9. The Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship gets underway from historic Unadilla. It all comes your way right now, live on Fuel TV. We're in upstate New York at the historic Unadilla Valley Sports Center for round 9 of the Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship, the Unadilla National. Hello everyone, Jason Wygant, of course, joined by 4-time AMA National Champion Jeff Emig for Fuel TV's continuing live coverage of this Pro Motocross Championship Tour, and what a tour we have. Let's give you the big picture storylines we're following. You got 3 riders duking it out for this championship. Ryan Villopoto has taken over the series lead by 1 point over Ryan Dungey, and Chad Reed, who's third in the series, has only 9 points back. That is unprecedented to go into the 9th round of the series and have 9 points separating 3 riders. Now, beyond that, in the background, we have some silly season rumors. A lot of people saying that Ryan Dungey will not return to Suzuki next year, even though he has been so successful with them throughout his pro career. So how might that affect things? We'll see. And of course, when you go racing at Unadilla, there's so many other stories that we have to follow beyond the silly season, beyond the point standings. These guys need to make the push for a championship right now with only 4 races to go. Villopoto, Reed, Dungey, all of them have proven themselves as championship players. The real question is, Jeff, who's going to come out on top of those 3 when this year is over? And really, I'd have to imagine the push starts today.
It starts today, and the thing is, when you look at the 3 title contenders, at this point, I don't feel that there's one rider that you say, okay, he's the guy that's going to take it. They still have to figure that out and decide that. This is an incredible track that we have here at Unadilla, classic motocross style. It's going to be tough for the guys, but the 2-week break, I think that it's going to do Chad Reed some good. Ryan Villopoto's made some changes with his bike, but will Ryan Dungey have lost momentum that he had going into the break, or will that give him more time to prepare? So 3 guys, 3 epic champions, and 1 championship on the line. So the final push starts here today at Unadilla.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch. For more, let's send it down to Aaron Bates on the starting line.
Thanks, guys. The last time we saw Ryan Villopoto, he walked away with the points lead, and you're sporting the red leading point plate right now. Ryan, what is the feeling as you line up for this race today?
I feel good. I think track's definitely improved since I've been here, which I haven't been here in 2 years. So I'm looking forward to just getting out there, seeing what we can do on this 2012, the new bike.
You've got that new bike. What would it mean to you to celebrate your birthday today, taking home a victory?
It'd be awesome. It definitely put the icing on the cake, so we'll see what we can do.
Best of luck to you. We'll make our way over here. A new guy riding in the 450 class, but definitely old in the 250 class. Justin Barcia on a new bike, 3rd overall in practice. It's safe to say that you're off to a great day so far.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I really love this track at Unadilla. The fans are awesome, and the bike's awesome too. Just gonna go out there and have some fun, mix it up with these guys.
Best of luck. Chad Reed, last time we saw you, you were hobbling up to the start line. You ended up taking a bit of a crash during that 2nd practice. How are you feeling lining up today, and after a 2-week break, getting a little bit more rested?
Not too bad. You know, I took a lot of time off in this 2-week break, so I kind of actually felt a little rusty out there, but nothing that a crash can't fix, you know, wake you up and slap you on the back of the head and realize that you're back at the races, you know. So looking forward to get a good start, try to dodge some rocks today and make up those 9 points.
Today's track, it is going to be a rough one, guys. A lot of rocks, 9 points separate them, and the pressure is on in a big way these final 4 rounds.
Well, we had a couple of weekends off since our last race in the Great Pacific Northwest of Washougal, and what a race it was. Ryan Villopoto was the home track favorite there. Trey Canard unfortunately crashed his way out of this series, but the man who really rallied late was Ryan Dungey, who came on strong to win the overall and close in the series points lead. What will happen today? Stay tuned. Unadilla National from upstate New York. And for those of you new to the sport of motocross, we'll give you the 411 and show you how we run the races here. First up today, we'll have our 450 class. We'll follow that up with the 250 class. That's different size engines in the motorcycles. And each of those classes will race 2 motos, and each moto lasts 30 minutes and 2 laps. We'll combine the scores from both races to determine an overall winner. Let's get to our track map, brought to you by Kawasaki and that 2012 KX450F, fully equipped and race ready. Are you race ready, Jeff?
I
Give us a
am,
lap.
and Ryan Villopoto is lined up on the inside of that starting area. You're going to come around between these Lucas Oil signs is the classic gravity cavity. You know, Bam Bam Barcia, local boy, is going to be flying up out of there. A couple of new sections, they made more of a turn there. And of course, this Toyota Trucks area up through here is these stair steps, and there's some lines that are really going to progress on the outside. Of course, this Rockstar jump set, what is it, about 180-foot tabletop now. And of course, this downhill U-turn, which is really steep, coming back up. And there's your lap at Unadilla.
All right, we're going to follow a rider who's back on the tour. First race outdoors this year for Kyle Regal. The Butler Brothers team had a spot open. Of course, Jason Thomas is out injured, so they had a bike, and Kyle said, I want to get some outdoor racing in by the end of the year, so he's probably going to ride with them the last 4 rounds with us. Good to see Kyle back. Really does well outdoors.
Yeah, he qualified 16th there on that BTO Sports Suzuki. He had a 2:11.1. Only problem is Ryan Villopoto was a 2:05.9, your fastest qualifier.
In defense of Regal, he's basically only been on that bike for a few days leading up to this race. We'll see how he does. Villopoto, Dungey lined up on the inside. Let's go racing. I think it's Barcia going to lead them through on his first ever race outdoors on a 450. He's got the whole shot. Lucas Oil, Troy Lee Honda, Christian Craig back in action after a wrist injury, second.
Well, and I think you could have predicted that Barcia would do that. Typically, when a rider moves up to the big bike, they seem to, that starting technique that they use for the little bikes. But remember, on the 250, he's had the most hole shots in that class. So once again, just continuing on. But this is going to be a handful to hold on to this Honda 450. It's a lot different than riding that 250 bike.
Dungey was third, but he just got passed by Jake Weimer, who's put his Kawasaki in the number 3 position. But how about the New York kid, and listen to the crowd going crazy for Barcia, who leads Craig, Weimer, and Dungey on lap 1.
This is going to be a great time here for Justin Barcia. Like you said, local New York here. The fans just love him up here, and as he goes around, you can see just the oceans of people on the hillsides. They're going to be cheering on the 17, that's for sure. And you know he's going to be fired up. Now, if he's got the ability to squirt away here and gain some time on these riders here in the first couple laps, he may have a shot of winning this moto. But he's going to have to put in some really hot laps right now.
I was going to say, explain Barcia's style. This kid is not afraid to put in hot laps. He will hang it out over the edge. He's got speed. There's no doubt about it. Look at that. Big gap already.
Yeah, a couple of Hondas up front, and then you get your reigning champion, Ryan Dungey, who I believe...
Uh-oh, look who's knocking on the door and busting through it. It's Villopoto, and then Dungey goes off the racetrack. So he's going to get passed by Weimer and maybe some others as well. Villopoto, great move. And then a terrible move by Dungey.
Yeah, both of the Kawasaki riders up front there, and Dungey kind of got high-sided. Couldn't hold his line, but you can see as Villopoto's trying to plow through some of the watered areas. Down this downhill U-turn, I walked this area earlier today, and I thought to myself, it's a wall. I mean, our TV shot there just really does not give it justice. It's hard to even walk up that.
Well, there you go. When I first came here, the first thing they said was you can't walk out some of these hills. And I think that still rings true today. The track has changed in some sections, but those big hills, they've always been there. Villopoto on the number 2, wheeling as he tries to get past Christian Craig, who is second. Dungey, we're trying to get a beat on him. He went off the track. We'll see how much time he lost with that mistake. Remember, Christian Craig a couple years ago made his debut, I believe, as a pro. He was on the Joe Gibbs Racing Yamaha team on a 450 in his first race. So he's got a little experience on this track. Here
and he has
Villopoto.
experience being, I mean, he's second now, but he has experience running up front.
Yes.
Earlier this year, had a good moto in Texas.
Good to see him back. Had a wrist injury, missed a couple of races. He's obviously proving he can run the pace with Villopoto behind him. And Barcia on lap 1 is lead about a second over Christian Craig. So we'll see how long Barcia can run that pace. It's over a second now. He continues to pull away.
Yeah, so that's a pure lap time that we got when they came across the finish line, because Barcia was at a 2:07. And Villopoto, fastest qualifier, was a 2:05.9, so that's pretty fast. That's Barcia turned a 2:06.9 in practice, so that's his lap time.
Villopoto still trying to figure out a way to get into second, and not able to make it happen. Wow, that track is rough through there.
Well, you carry a lot of speed up those stair steps there, and look at Dungey. He's still behind Weimer, and you gotta Weimer has, he's been inside the top 10 this year, but he hasn't really been able to run up front. And so far, so good. He's got the Kawasaki up front, running the pace of the lead group. Turned to 2:13 though that lap. So he's going to have to pick up the pace a little bit, and just by looking at the position of where he's at, you're going to think that that lap time, was they come around the finish line, is going to be much better than that 2:13 that it is posted.
That 340, the rider on the yellow Suzuki, he is a rider that's a lap down, so that doesn't count as far as the positions go. There you go. It's Weimer and Dungey. They're the ones behind that Villopoto-Craig battle, so they're battling in the top 5. Then behind him is Alessi, and then Chad Reed.
Well, did you see Dungey as he came up over that double, set the rear wheel down as he got in, into the meat of the power and just wheelied out of the landing? That's great technique. Look at that. Now he's got the drive.
Oh, great technique here. If he can hang on the inside. Here comes that infamous gravity cavity. They drop down and then launch back out.
Dungey now feels comfortable. See him, he's putting on the charge, not wasting any time. He's not following Jake anywhere. He's trying to find a different line. And he's going to need to, because the difference between where Barcia and Villopoto and where Dungey is about 5 seconds right now.
Yeah, and Villopoto has made that pass on Craig. While we're watching these riders battle, the 3 of them, Craig, Weimer, Dungey, Villopoto, is going to try to go after Barcia.
Yeah, look on one of these long shots here at the top of your screen as they come through here. There's Barcia at the top over there, and Villopoto. These guys are going to wheelie away, and if Dungey wants a shot at this moto win and that invaluable 25 championship points to win it, he's going to have to get busy.
Okay, let's talk about the roost here at this track. We talk about it every week, but Jeff, you tend to say Unadilla, very big at this track. The roost, Dungey trying to get out of it, doesn't want to be behind Weimer and catching all that debris from the rear tire. Dungey on the inside. This is where he went off the track earlier. Look at Weimer. He's going to actually go past Craig. Unbelievable. So Weimer was about to get past, and instead he makes a pass himself. What a race between these 3.
Craig, watch him switch back to the outside, and watch the drive he's going to get.
He's going to try to get Weimer back around the outside. Going to be a right-hand turn to the top, and then they'll head down to this downhill U-turn. Dungey cannot find running room around either. He's working the edges.
Oh, he's got a gift right here. Craig got hung out the drive by trying a different line. And, yep, Dungey, open door. He walked through it. That's going to make that easy, but wow, I'm really impressed with Jake Weimer. This is a much better ride than we've seen him this season.
I'll tell you what, yeah, absolutely. Weimer's showing now. He's aggressive. He's fighting back against Dungey. And Aaron, unfortunately, down to the pitch of the rider who's probably not too happy about the way things are going. Aaron?
That's right, you guys. A rough start to that first moto for Michael Byrne. Michael, did you just fall victim to a rock hitting your bike?
Yeah, it was first lap, and I got a pretty decent start, and like the second or third corner, something hit my front brake, master cylinder, and busted it, so I had no front brake. So it's really hard when you're trying to ride this track with no front brake, going down, screw you and stuff. So just wait for the next one, I guess.
Tough deal for Michael Byrne.
All right, so Regal will try to carry the flag for the Butler brothers team with his teammate Byrne out. Meanwhile, Dungey and Weimer continue to battle, and this all helps Weimer's teammate Villopoto, who's trying to get away. Oh, Dungey, nice line to the inside. Can he hold it? Yes. Gets to the front of Weimer and moves back in the number 3 spot.
That was an intense pass there. He is driven now.
And there is Weimer and Villopoto both debut in the 2012 Kawasaki 450. We'll see how that works for them. Oh, and a problem for Andrew Short. So he's working on the chain, and he's out of this one.
What if the passion of a Sharpie...
His coverage of the Lucas Oil AMA. Well, we have found Chad Reed, the man who is leading the series standings up until our last race in Washington. Here he is trying to make a move on Mike Alessi to just try to scratch his way into the top 5. Reed on the outside in the red makes the move on Alessi, who's in orange. That'll bump Alessi back to 6th, Reed to 5th, but he wants more than that.
Yeah, and that outside looks like it's really working well. We noticed Weimer make a pass there, although he squared back up to the inside coming up to the jump, but that entrance there, we watched Dungey earlier in this moto trying to get to the inside, made some mistakes, stayed to the inside, got past. So the entrance there if you're on the outside, you can really carry some momentum.
And the next rider, Reed, on the 22 here, will try to go after is Weimer, who is in 4th, and then Dungey is 3rd, Villopoto 2nd, and your leader continues to be this kid, Justin Barcia. What a debut for him on the big bike, but the party is about to get crashed by the number 2 of Villopoto, who has been slowly but surely closing in. The gap was 4 seconds at one point. It's down to less than a second now. Villopoto wants to go for the lead.
Yeah, and this is mentally going to start to wear on Justin Barcia here, and that's going to distract him. Not going to be able to ride his own race. You see the fans here going nuts for him, but there's also going to be a little pressure, a little nervousness that's going to set in. He went up to a 209.4 that lap, or Villopoto went to a 207.8. Obviously, he's closed it up. Now for Villopoto, he's going to be very comfortable in this situation. I'm sure he expects to pass Barcia and take the lead here, so we'll see what sort of fight the rookie here on the 450, Justin Barcia, what he can put in.
They have nearly 10 seconds on Ryan Dungey, who is 3rd. So for Villopoto, even though he's in 2nd, he's in a good position right now, leading the man he's battling for the title win.
Yeah, the outside right here where Villopoto's at is a fast line. He's going to gain some time. Dungey, last lap around, a 207.4, so he actually set the fastest lap. About a half a second faster than anyone else on the track, and he needs it.
Here comes Villopoto over that big sky shot jump. They land together. Villopoto's on the inside and leaps into the number 1 position. So Ryan Villopoto has taken the lead from Barcia.
Wow, he knew when he came in on that inside, he was committed to whatever Barcia was going to do. Yeah. Villopoto was going straight on the inside to inside. So if he's there, let's take another look at this. And watch as they come over. It looks like Villopoto's pretty close to him, but Barcia gets the power to the ground. And watch Villopoto, hammers down and commitment right here. See, if Barcia hadn't backed off,
yeah,
we could have had a, we would have definitely been calling Geico on that one. Right? I've been an offender bender.
We've seen that happen at this track before, the way the lines cross over on each other. I remember back years and years ago, Ricky Carmichael, James Stewart battling here, not the same section of the track, but that is the way this track works when you work those outsides to insides. And here is the gap now between Barcia in 2nd and Dungey in 3rd. So Dungey is putting in the fast laps. So look at the top of your screen, you see he's going quicker, but it's taken almost half the race for him to get up to that kind of speed.
Our leaders just crossed the finish line. Villopoto 207 flat, Dungey 207 flat. Barcia up to a 209.6, lost a little bit of time, but he needs to keep his head and minimize the mistakes and not have any mental mistakes. He may be able to get a top 3, a podium ride in his very first 450 motocross event.
Got a battle brewing here between the 800 of Alessi and the 24 of Metcalfe. And these are the two that have been so close to being up on those overall podiums week in and week out. Metcalfe finally got one at our last race in Washington. Alessi has had a lot of 4th place finishes this year. And this is where these guys have been. As you can tell, they're riding as hard as they can. Metcalfe going to try to make a move on the outside.
A little mistake by Alessi. Metcalfe. Metcalfe is that type of rider. He was like the Mike LaRocco in my day. When you seen him behind you, you knew that he was going to be relentless. There was going to be no way to shake him off, okay? And so it's just a matter of time of when he's going to get past Alessi right now, because Metcalfe has really been on the gas lately. Something was missing in the beginning part of the championship after he had a spectacular season last summer. But now he seems to be back up to speed. Similar to last year when he was 2nd place in this championship.
And here's that outside line that you were talking about. Metcalfe going to try to use it against Alessi. They negotiate that big Rockstar sky jump together, and Metcalfe has the move made. Obviously, he's listening to Jeff Hemming's advice. Go outside.
I know. I was thinking during the break, I'm going to develop some sort of radio system, and I'm going to send messages to the riders, whoever, of course, pays the subscription fee.
Well,
that I'm going to charge.
Tip jar in here. And Alessi's going to try to get him back here in the U-turn, but it's not going to happen. Metcalfe has the line covered. So we'll see if Metcalfe can maybe close in. The next rider in front of him would be Reed, who's trying to go after Weimer. And then he got that top 3, attempting to break away. Dungey still lapping a little bit quicker than Barcia and Villopoto, but time is not on his side. We're into the second half of this one, and Villopoto's got a nice lead built up. Stay with us.
Every rider is measured by victory.
Ryan Villopoto here in the number 2 out front, round 9 of the Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship live on Fuel TV. Don't miss the finale as Bruce Lee lives. Take a closer look at the master and see how his influence and philosophy are truly immortal. That's Bruce Lee Lives, Wednesdays 10 Eastern and Pacific, only on Fuel TV. And Ryan Villopoto mastering this track at Unadilla right now. He's got a 5-second lead over Justin Barcia. Meanwhile, Aaron Bates is down in the pit area. Got some news today with the announcement of the Motocross Nations team and Team USA. Aaron, you've got Roger DeCoster. Go ahead.
We do, guys. He's been the team manager for the USA team Motocross Nation for 25 years. And Roger, you've got a big announcement for us. At the top 3 riders that you picked, who's going to be in this?
Top 3 guys, you know, it's the 2 Ryans, of course, and then Blake Baggett. He's going to be the rookie for us this year. And I'm really happy with the team, and hopefully we can win it one more time.
Sounds like a stacked group of talent. Take us through how you're going to make the decision. MX2 is spoken for with the 254 stroke. How will you make the decision on the MX1 class and the MX3 class? It seems to be a nice problem to have.
Yeah, it's not an easy decision. Both guys have been dominating, and you know, we're going to get together with the AMA and Mitch probably and make the final call soon here.
Roger DeCoster, he's hoping to lead this Team USA into their 7th consecutive victory.
Well, thanks, Aaron. Let's give you a brief description of what that is. The Motocross Nations is a team race that takes place in September. So each country sends their 3 best riders. In this case, for Team USA, it'll be Baggett, Dungey, Villopoto. They each have to ride a different class. And in this case, there's 2 spots for 450 bikes. So who's going to be in the premier MX1 class, Dungey or Villopoto? How do you pick a team leader between 2 guys who are separated by 1 point in this series?
Yeah, well, I mean, we're taking a look at Justin Barcia here, who's feet
all
off.
over the place.
But yeah, do you go with Dungey, who led the team last year? Because you get to run the #1 plate when you're in the MX1 class and you're the winning team. So
that's what they wanted.
A little ego thing there. I would want to run it for sure.
Yeah, the MX3 division is also for 450s. That's considered an open class. It was what was once the old 500cc class. So basically, who's the premier guy? Who's in the MX1 division? We'll have to figure that out. Right now, I don't think Dungey's thinking about Motocross of Nations, Motocross de Nations, whatever they're calling it right now. He's just worried about Justin Barcia and trying to get to 2nd place. Barcia still looking strong in the 17.
Yeah, and a couple laps ago, during the break, Villopoto and Dungey threw out some 206.2s, which were the fastest laps. But then last lap, they just turned 205.8s, which, I mean, they're absolutely flying right now. Fastest lap earlier today in qualifying was Villopoto with the 205.9. So now both Villopoto and Dungey have found some hot lines on the track. Dungey needs to at least get to 2nd in this. He's about 10 seconds behind.
Is this kid fun to watch or what? Yeah. Just flicking the bars one way or another, throwing the bike sideways. Apparently, the classic Justin Barcia whips and scrubs are still intact, even on a 450.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, you know, Dungey is very quiet on the bike. He's very strict with his technique. He doesn't waste a lot of energy. When he sets on the seat and sets on the bike, you see him in a very relaxed position. And Barcia all the time, I mean, we call him the wild child. He's all over the place, and you got to think that he uses a lot of energy to do that. But then again, if this is the only way that you've ever ridden a motorcycle, and you don't really know any different, you know, it just is what it is.
Don't take it out of the system. Maybe you can. They're trying to get around a Russian rider there, Evgeny Mikhailov, backed by Crayor Meat. So I'm just hoping to maybe get that title sponsor in at some point. I have no idea what that even is, but that's the title sponsor.
We're going to send you some free frozen hamburger patties or something.
Rocky Balboa, they got stuff hanging over there in the truck. Barcia, we were talking about the lap times that Dungey and Villopoto are putting in, but Barcia's matching them as best as he can. Put it up on the podium in your first race in the big class. That would be impressive.
Oh, yeah. This is a great ride for Justin Barcia. And, I mean, remember a few races ago, we were talking about him suffering from the mononucleosis and fatigue and all these other things, questioning whether he would even stay in the series or whether he should take some time off. He said, no, I'm not staying at home. I'm a motorcycle racer. This is my job. And this is what I'm going to do. So he's out here hammering away.
Here's the other Honda man, Chad Reed, on the TwoTwo Motorsports ride. He is in 4th. We saw him get around Weimer a little bit earlier in this race, but it is a long way to go. 29 seconds between he and Dungey. Got around Weimer. Weimer put up a pretty good fight and is still not too far back there. Weimer did all he could trying to hold back his teammate Villopoto's championship rivals. And in a way, that paid off. I'm going to show you the pass. We were at break when this took place, so watch Reed battling with Weimer here.
Yeah, watch around the outside there over that massive tabletop. Just carries a little more momentum into the outside there, and then goes back to the outside to assure that Weimer was not going to creep back up the inside, but he gave it another good run, and they played a little cat and mouse, zigzagged, but it left Chad in front. But as you can see, Weimer just out the would be the left of your screen. He is hanging in there. Reed last time around was a 2:10.4. It's about a second and a half off. Villopoto actually, who's 34 seconds ahead, just crossed the finish line at a 2:10. So Reed clawing his way back up to the front, and we've seen this happen this season where Reed kind of first moto looked a little bit off it, but he seems to build throughout the day, much like Dungey does.
Check out Kyle Riegel here. He is in the number 10 spot. First race outdoors this year. This is a kid who has had podium finishes in some motos in the motocross series before. Was on a Supercross only team, of course, with James Stewart earlier. Just wanted to get some motocross in to the end of the year, and the Butler Brothers Suzuki team had an opening. So Kyle's hopping on board. Didn't really have much testing or riding time on this bike. So it's kind of a work in progress right now, but 10th in his first race, that's not too shabby.
Yeah, it's a pretty solid ride, and I mean, what a nice, bit of luck there for the BTO Sports.com Suzuki team after having their premier rider, Michael Byrne, have that issue at the top of the moto there. So still got a bike in the top 10.
Yeah, Riegel looking good. He's got Christian Craig on that Lucas Oil Troy Lee Honda in front of him. So we'll see if he can continue to move forward. And Riegel's kid out of Texas and basically made a name for himself right off the bat on this big 450 bike. Didn't really spend any time on the 250 in motocross, where we're talking about Justin Barcia, who's running in the number 2 spot right now. Been riding the 250 for a few years. Riegel just likes the big bikes. So he's not intimidated at all. He'll go after these guys in the Premier Division. And there's Riegel around that classic tree turn that used to be the mechanics area here at Unadilla.
Yeah, and Riegel across the finish line that time turned to 2:14.5. Craig was 2:15, so he's about half a second faster than Craig. You can see at the top of your screen there's 4 minutes, about 4:22 plus 2 laps after that, and we can always stretch this thing out. Now, if that clock at the top is at 0.01 when our leader goes by, that means the 2-lap board does not go out. They do a full another lap. So I remember on some of the hot days, that's when you were just had your fingers crossed open, and you'd come by the finish line, the guy with the board in his hand, and he didn't throw it out, and you knew that you had 3 laps now to go.
592 is Jake Canada, who was a privateer midway through the series, showed up at Colorado and scored well up inside the top 10 and got signed by the Moto Concepts Yamaha team. Still riding for them. He is 11th. Then we got Lowell Spangler, a kid out of Pennsylvania, and the number 96 on the number 96. And he is followed by Jimmy Albertson, best known for clowning around behind our interview with Chad Reed at the beginning of this moto. And Albertson is back on the Valley Motorsports Rockstar Yamaha team. When that team started a couple of years ago, Albertson was their first rider. And then they parted ways. He went to Europe for a while. He's now back in the U.S., and they have patched it up. And Albertson, the 108, is back on the Valley Motorsports machine, and his teammate Nick Way is right behind him. And he might put Spangler behind him as well. Top Jimmy making the move. And that big U-turn up over the wall, that'll move Albertson up to 11th.
Not sure what Spangler was thinking there, taking that line, just leaving the door wide open. I mean, taking that outside line, yeah, it just seems like, I don't know whether he made a mistake at the top of that U-turn or what happened, but it sure made it easy for Albertson, and you'll take those passes anytime.
Then it is Way, who is trying to move up on Spangler right now, follow his teammate Albertson through. Albertson, of course, good friends with Trey Canard, and certainly we wish our best to Trey, who broke his femur again at our last race at Washougal. Presumably, we will not see Trey back for the rest of the 2011 season, and that's why Justin Barcia is here on the Honda 450. He's the replacement rider. Let's focus in on Way. Saw his wife Nicole here this weekend, so the Way's making a little family outing out of it, and he's trying to make the pass on Spangler.
Trying to work his way up from a bad start, but Way's got some pretty good lap times, 2:16 last time around, and Spangler really starting to drop off the pace a little bit here.
We'll see if Way can take advantage of that and make a move and head closer toward that top 10. And the fans in Unadilla, they're loving every minute of this. Stay with us on Fuel TV. We're watching some great racing here at this Rockstar Energy Drink National, round 9 of the Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship. We got a changeover here at the number 2 spot. Justin Barcia has relented that position, but not without a fight.
Yeah, Dungey set this up over that huge tabletop, and you see they get into some lapped riders, and it looked like Barcia was going to be able to hold the spot, but right in the lappers there, they had to split them. And if you watch right through here, Barcia almost made a move around the outside, but Dungey slammed the door on the uphill U-turn.
It took a long time, though, for Dungey to track Barcia down and get him. In fact, you see there's only 2 laps to go in this race. He nearly did not get it done, so all year long, we're waiting to see who can bust up this trio at the top of the series, Villopoto, Dungey, and Reed. We have a new name on that list. It's Barcia, and he is still going after Dungey. It is close.
And if you look, Barcia is pretty solid in third. I mean, that's a good 35 seconds behind Barcia is where Reed's at.
Yeah.
So for Reed, if he's going to gain any points, you know, toward another extra 2 points towards the championship, he's going to have a stroke of luck. And you got to wonder if Honda having a rider out there would say, hey, put the sign out.
Yeah, I don't know if their goal was to have Barcia come in and cost Reed some points. Let's go a little bit further back. There is Weimer in 5th. He's the man that gave Reed a great challenge throughout this race. He's about 3 seconds behind Reed now. And then Metcalfe is coming up next. And you can almost guarantee if you find Weimer, you're going to find Metcalfe. No matter where they start, somehow they end up hooking up during these motos. And here we go again. The 32 just got by in the green. And here comes the yellow of Metcalfe on the 24. And they've got lap traffic everywhere. And a big mistake by Medi at the bottom of that U-turn. It's going to help Weimer build a little gap on him. There is Reed in 4th. He's just in front of those 2.
Well, Weimer trying to better his 6th place as being his best moto finish of the season. Riding that new 2012 KX450. Could be good enough for 1 position.
Well, we bring up that bike because it's rare that a team does that they bring in a new bike mid-season. I would think that's a bit of a risk. But they had 2 weeks of testing between here and Washougal, and Kawasaki says it's okay. Jeff, what do you think?
Weimer's having his best moto of the season, and Villopoto's out front doing his thing. So far, so good, right?
True. The results don't lie. And meanwhile, here is Reed, still not able quite to find that magic that he had before that big crash at Millville, Minnesota, about a month ago now. And I'll tell you what, with the level of competition this year, if he's even 1% off or 2% off, you're seeing it. It's tough to go against the Ryans when you're 100%. And just this little bit, here's the difference. 4th place, he'll score 18 points. Villopoto will score 25. There's only a 9-point gap between them coming in, and Villopoto would nearly double that at the end of this moto. Oh, there's Nick Wade down as Villopoto puts him a lap down. Villopoto's got a nice lead, 11 seconds over Dungey.
Yeah, but he's got 55 seconds over 4th place, Chad Reed. Basically half the track. And that's the difference between getting out front, having a clear track. Obviously, Villopoto and Dungey have both set the 2 fastest times. They're up front. And Reed having to work his way through the pack. And you don't find that rhythm. And you don't have that ability to, just kind of, okay, I'm turning some 213s. Now I'm going to drop down and turn a 205. It's just really hard to do that. But what a ride for Villopoto here at the first moto at Unadilla.
Yeah, he's got this one on lock. The white flag will change to a checkered, and Ryan Villopoto goes to victory lane in Moto 1 at Unadilla. The 2012 Kawasaki is now undefeated, 1-0, so I guess a good gamble on the part of that team to bust out the new bike. Let's go back to this battle. Weimer is not letting Chad Reed off the hook. They're going to put the 44 of Les Smith down a lap. Oh, what happened to Weimer? He was right there. He lost some ground. See, Dungey and Barcia have already come through 2nd and 3rd. So this is your 4th place rider, Reed, and he looks over his shoulder, figures out how much gap he has between himself and the 32.
Yeah, that definitely, you want to know where that rider's at, if you can kind of take it easy right through here, or if you're just going to have to push all the way through the checkered flag. And for Chad Reed, he's going to have to earn this one. But you never know. 4th could be better than a 5th, when it's towards those championship points.
Here's Reed dropping into gravity cavity, and he will finish 4th. For most riders, against the best in the world, you'd be happy with that. Not the case for Reed, who was once leading this series. How about Kyle Regal? That's our one to watch for this moto, and he is still inside the top 10. He is 10th. Not bad. Kid originally out of Michigan, makes his racing home now in Texas. And way to get on the board.
Yeah, I'd say this is a pretty good ride here at BTOsports.com. Suzuki rider, you know, switching bikes, riding a totally different bike, not having a lot of time on this.
Yep.
Just really shows this is what his true talent can do here, okay? So he gets a little more time on the bike, gets a little more comfortable. He could knock on the door for some top fives.
Yeah, that's where he was when he rode this tour full time, so maybe we shouldn't be surprised by this impressive performance. Kyle Regal, nice debut for the year, finishes up in the top 10, and we'll be back to talk to our moto winner right after this. Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship here. Rockstar Energy Drink National from Unadilla. And we've got a new face on the 450 podium. Let's send it down to Aaron Bates, who has that rider.
A new team, a new bike, comes new results. Justin, you only had 2 weeks on this bike before you came here. You got the whole shot. Are you as comfortable as you look out there getting 3rd place in this first moto?
Yeah, I was feeling great. I haven't had much time on the bike, but it's such a great bike. I'd like to thank my team, Geico Honda, for letting me do this, and the whole Honda Geico team. They're awesome, and I'm so pumped.
All right, well, how about that? On the podium in his first race. You can't really get much better than that. I mean, I don't think he was expected to win the moto.
Yeah, but that was pretty impressive, and I was really glad to see, how he kept his head. He didn't make a lot of mistakes, didn't mentally break down, or wasn't really shaken by those top 450 stars.
No, and like we said, he can still throw the bike sideways, 250 or 450. Let's show you the race recap here, and you're going to see a whole bunch of Justin Barcia in this one because the 17 grabs the whole shot.
Wow, he had to elbow his way into the lead there, too.
That's Bam Bam.
Not
What do you
afraid,
expect?
that's right.
Lucas Oil Troy Lee Honda of Christian Craig was second early on, and Ryan Villopoto started to stir. It took about 10 minutes into the moto, though, for him to get there to the rear wheel of Barcia and then make the pass. Then it's Villopoto in the lead. He would pull away from there. Then late in the race, Dungey would finally get Barcia, but watch Barcia stingy. He wants the spot back.
And almost gets it back here as they come down. Watch Dungey. Well, he tipped it up.
And Villopoto would hold on to win the moto. Dungey would hold off Barcia, and that would put the Suzuki man in the second and Barcia in third. We'll show you the full results here. And the big story, not only the top 3, but the rider who finishes 4th, Chad Reed, losing 7 more championship points to Ryan Villopoto by virtue of finishing 4th. Great ride by Jake Weimer, 5th. That's his best of the year. Metcalfe, Alessi, Brayton, Craig, Regal round out the top 10. Let's send it back down to Aaron.
Ryan Villopoto continues to expend that points lead. And Ryan, coming in, racing the new 2012 model of the bike, did you have any concerns? Because that was a great way to showcase that bike right today.
Yeah, we made the decision to go to the 2012 just, last week or whatever. It's just that much better. And we rode it one time. I knew that's what we were going to do. We scrambled together, got parts, got everything we needed, and that's what we're out here riding today. It's definitely a huge improvement from the 11. Obviously, you guys seen it out there. Just can't thank everybody there at Monster Energy Kawasaki. Dunlop Tires for getting us out to a good start. See if we can come back second moto and do it again.
Well, I'll tell you what a debut for that bike. Like we said, undefeated so far. The big change, a new frame on that bike. And they said as soon as they slapped the old motor, forked some shock on that thing, it already was better. And they've refined it after a week of testing. We'll be right back.
Every rider is measured by victory.
We're back live at the historic Unadilla Valley Sports Center, New Berlin, New York. Been hosting motocross races here since the late 1960s, which is basically the beginning of American motocross altogether. So we're glad to bring you the coverage. We got big talk, big sports, big tunes. The Daily Habit, the wildest late night party on television, weeknights at 11 Eastern and Pacific, only on Fuel TV. So keep this network tied in all week long. That's a great show. I've become a big fan now that we're part of the Fuel family.
That's right.
Let's send it back down to the podium with our second place finisher, Ryan Dungey.
The defending champion, Ryan Dungey, won the overall here last year. And Ryan, you know more than anybody how this track is so capable of changing from morning till day. What is it like as far as throttle control goes?
It's really important, as the track develops through the day, it's a little muddy in the morning, but kind of gets hard and really choppy. But, I think throttle control is important, bike setup is key, and just got to get out there, get a good start, and put down the laps. That's what it's going to take.
Walk us through what happened when you and Villopoto came together and Villopoto got by, from your perspective.
You know, I actually high-sided a rut, just kind of tossed it over, almost threw it away, but thankfully we just went off the track, was able to get back on and come up to second, but kind of all over the place that moto. Need to kind of settle down, get in my line, and I think we'll go a little bit faster, so we'll see what we can do.
All right, so that's your runner-up. And remember, Villopoto won the first moto at our last race a couple weeks ago. Dungey got him in Moto 2. We'll see that a little later today. Meanwhile, here's your upcoming schedule on Fuel TV. Every Thursday night after a race, we have a highlight show at 10 p.m. Eastern, so check out the Unadilla show in a few days. And then we'll have another weekend off. We're back at Southwick, Massachusetts, the sand track on August 27th. Highlights that Thursday night after. And then we'll go to Steel City in Delmont, Pennsylvania, outside of Pittsburgh on September the 3rd. Those are the upcoming shows on Fuel TV. We're excited about all the live coverage that Fuel TV has provided this year. Next, the world's most prestigious motocross championship visits one of its legendary racetracks for the Rockstar Energy drink, Unadilla National, from New Berlin, New York. And we have never seen a championship battle like this. 3 riders nearly deadlocked at the top of the series. Chad Reed and Ryan Villopoto. They have been swapping race victories. And don't forget the defending champion, Ryan Dungey, who's sandwiched right between them in points. Fantastic racing coming up a little bit later. And then after that, we'll send it to the Dew Tour Portland Invitational, all part of an Ally Sports doubleheader this afternoon on NBC. But first, let's send it to our New York studios. The 3 fastest motocross riders in the world are bunched together at the top of the championship standings. The series points leader, Kawasaki's Ryan Villopoto, is looking for a title in his first full season on a 450 machine. The defending champion, Suzuki's Ryan Dungey, looks to back up the championship here and as a rookie 1 year ago with another title in 2011. The veteran, Honda rider Chad Reed. The Australian rider is a master at overcoming adversity and coming out on top. 3 riders competing for one prestigious title. Round 9 of the Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship gets underway right now from historic Unadilla. Ally, the Alliance of Action Sports, presents the Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship. From the historic Unadilla Valley Sports Center in upstate New York, it's round 9 of the Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship, the Rockstar Energy drink, Unadilla National. Hello everyone, Jason Wigan and Jeff Emig, your hosts for the best motocross racing in all the world. And we've already got a great race under our belts here in Moto 1. We'll show you the highlights from earlier today. A big surprise off the start. Justin Barcia on the number 17, his first race ever in this class. Grabs the early lead, Jeff.
Yeah, and it was Ryan Villopoto, though, with a 5th place start that would start to work his way up front. He passes his teammate Jake Weimer. Ryan Dungey, the reigning champion, makes a mistake. Villopoto blows by, but look at Dungey, barely keeps the bike on the track.
So Dungey would have to regroup and go back after Jake Weimer. A great battle here. That will put Dungey up into 3rd, but a long way to go to catch the leaders. And speaking of the leaders, Justin Barcia has company. Here comes Ryan Villopoto.
And watch the commitment here by number 2, Villopoto, to the inside, takes the lead away from the rookie 450 rider.
So that would put Villopoto in the lead. The question was, could Dungey follow him through? He challenges Barcia late in the race.
Same spot, same result. Dungey gets by Barcia, but Barcia puts up a fight, and as they get into the lapped riders, they split these riders.
And Barcia would go to the inside. That would work ordinarily, but look at Dungey able to squirt by around the outside. He would take over the number 2 spot, but too little too late. Ryan Villopoto gets away early and wins the first moto. And we'll show the results. Great ride. Justin Barcia going to hang on for 3rd in his first race on a 450cc bike. The real damage, Chad Reed, formerly your series points leader, could not get going. He ends up in 4th. So with an exciting first moto already complete here at Unadilla, we ready ourselves for the second race today. And Jeff, Ryan Dungey, Chad Reed, they need to fight back against Ryan Villopoto or they're going to lose more ground in the championship.
Villopoto was pretty impressive in Moto 1, but I think Dungey knows that a second is as good as a first. Lost a couple points, but if he can win this second Moto, he could tie it up or possibly gain the points. But it's Chad Reed, the one that really has to step it up. That first Moto performance is not going to be good enough if he wants to keep himself in the title chase. And this season, on more than one occasion, we've seen Chad Reed bounce back from a third, fourth, fifth in the first Moto to come back and win Moto 2. So a lot of points up for grab and a lot on the line here, second Moto at Unadilla.
And we'll show you exactly how the points turned out after that first Moto. Ryan Dungey was 1 point down. He is now 4 behind Villopoto, but the big difference, Chad Reed goes from 9 points down to 16. So you're right, Chad Reed needs to make up some ground here in this second Moto. For more, let's send it down to the starting line with the third member of our broadcast team, Tina Dixon.
Thanks, guys. I'm with Ryan Villopoto, who is the overall points leader right now, and you also took Moto 1. How do you carry that momentum into Moto 2, especially with the new bike?
Yeah, just get a good start. Everything worked out really well that first Moto. The new bike was worked really good for us. So I think you know, we're sitting in a really good position. Just need a good start and you know, a solid 30+2.
And sitting in number 2 overall is Ryan Dungey right now. You won here last year on this track, but how much of a battle is it going to be between you guys? Are all so close.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's the track's really turned out to be pretty well. I think that last Moto was good, and I think getting off to a good start is going to be key, and just put down some good laps. You know, it's going to be a little bit rougher, a little drier, but see what we can do and have some fun.
All right, guys, so obviously start is key, and we're now going to make our way over to Chad Reed, who is getting prepped for his race. And Chad, you started off this season strong. In the last 2 rounds, you struggled a little bit, but coming into this race, what are the small changes that you need to make?
No, I just got to change up myself. You know, I think since Millville, I've just been gun shy and just got to get out there, let that go, and go for it. And I'm disappointed in myself. So I've got to get a good start. Starts there, and don't be around anybody else where you get stuck in their pace, and get out front and try to set my pace and try to win another race.
All right, best of luck. Guys?
Well, these fans are fired up. They've come to the fences to watch the best motocross riders in the world do battle. If you've never seen racing like this before, you're in for quite a show. So stay with us all afternoon. The Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship is brought to you by Lucas Oil, made in America, sold to the world. By Kawasaki and the 2012 KX450F, fully equipped and race ready. By Rockstar Energy Drink, available in 18 flavors. And by the Air National Guard. You can learn more at goang.com.
With the high cost of fuel,
Coming up next, don't miss defending Skate Street champion Paul Rodriguez and Action Sports Best as they invade the streets of Portland. It's the Portland Invitational, next on NBC. Welcome back to Unadilla, a doubleheader here of Ally Sports action. We'll have motocross now and then the Sports Invitational from Portland coming up next. Let's give you the track map brought to you by Kawasaki and the all-new KX450F, fully equipped and race ready. Take us on a tour of Unadilla, Jeff Emig.
Well, off the start, we're going to have this right-hander, and they've been watering the soil and disking it up. Then into Gravity Cavity, over the Lucas Oil finish, through some off cambers, a couple of tabletops here. Then the track starts to open up and really speed up. This is where the rider's going to take some roost off the back of these 450 tires. Up through the Toyota trucks, step-up area. Of course, the Rockstar Sky Shot. And then you're going to make this tight right here down the wall. And this is a serious wall up and down. And let's go on board here with Nick Way, Valley Motorsports. This is brought to you by GoPro, where you can be a hero. And this is what we call the Gravity Cavity. Earlier today in qualifying practice, you launch down in, suspension G's out on the throttle, and you fly up through the finish line.
And that is a hard landing. And the rider who jumps the furthest can take advantage of that. Now, Jeff, we're putting you on the spot here. We know at allysports.com you play in the fantasy game. Who are your picks this afternoon?
Yeah. Oh, I got Dungey, Reed, Byrne, Weimer, Craig, Dietrich, Les Smith, Sewell. And I spent $95 million on that. Oh. It's an expensive day for me. Expensive
for you?
roster,
I didn't think that'd be that bad.
Yeah, but the problem is Villopoto won that first moto. He's getting all the key points here. We'll see if any of my team can rebound. in Moto 2. It's going to be tough, though, because Villopoto looked pretty sharp.
And he's lined up to the inside, Jeff explained. A lot of times on a motocross track, you don't choose that first gate to the inside, but Villopoto has.
Yeah, you would line up more here towards the middle, but here he is on the inside. Let's see if he can pull the whole shot.
All right, one moto is complete today. Villopoto won it. Here is race number 2. And they're battling. Looks like Villopoto got pinched off on the inside. It's going to be Jake Weimer on the 32 and Mike Alessi on the number 800 out front.
Wow, look at this soil here, this mulch that we have in upstate New York. Incredible racing surface, but the rest of the track was not prepped, was not smoothed out, and you can see gnarly, nasty ruts here that the riders will have to negotiate here in a very difficult track in Moto 2.
Look at this pack fighting for it right now. You got the 17 of Barcia, who was a star earlier today in the first race. He is up to 3rd. Villopoto on the number 2, battling with Dungey, and in front of them, the number 10 of Justin Brayton.
And I believe the 2 of Villopoto has gotten around Dungey through that tight tree section.
We'll see if Dungey can respond over this big tabletop jump. Now they land, and you see the 32 of Weimer under fire now from the 17 of Barcia. A teenager out of New York, got a lot of fans cheering for him. Barcia wants the lead. To the inside he goes, and Weimer's got it covered.
And you see Justin Barcia switch up the line.
And he's trying to get Weimer, trying to get to that number 2 spot while Alessi tries to get away in the number 1 spot. Then you got Villopoto and Dungey. So many riders all over this track trying to make passes.
Oh, and Barcia, a few riders there on that right-hand side of the stair-step area. You can see where the dark areas are. That's where they put down some water to minimize the dust, but it also makes it really hard and slippery.
Barcia has made the move now on Weimer, and Weimer under attack from his teammate Villopoto. All these riders, Jeff, they know you've got to get up front early. So these first laps, it is a battle right now. Villopoto going for 2nd immediately, and Barcia shuts the door, puts the bike right in front of him so he can't get by.
Villopoto is riding with some serious confidence right now and determination.
Look at that line. You're not supposed to be able to pass there, but Villopoto's going to try it. He pulls up alongside of Barcia and takes the 2nd place spot. Unbelievable.
Riding way on the outside, trying to find the smooth lines. You notice they funnel right back down into one line, but Villopoto right now, I love what I'm seeing out of him, and in this position, he just is firing away. He's not wasting any time.
Neither is Dungey. Dungey has cleared the 32 of Weimer. He knows he's got to get the 17 of Barcia. He cannot let Villopoto get away.
Jason, clearly in Moto 1, it was Villopoto and Dungey. Both riders set the fastest lap times, 2:05s, and as we come around right now, track much slower. Alessi at 2:12 out front, but it was Villopoto with a 2:11. I'm not sure they're going to be able to match that 2:05, but what I'm sure is I believe the 1 can match the 2's speed, but Barcia is in between.
Yes.
Okay, so Dungey right here, sense of urgency, he's got to get past Barcia and put on a charge, because if they allow Villopoto to get out front like in Moto 1, he may just check out.
The way these guys are battling in the first lap, you'd think this is a sprint race, but you look at the clock at the top of the screen, folks, it's a 30-minute and 2-lap race, so plenty of time to make things happen. Meanwhile, Villopoto has made it happen. He has gone past Alessi and into the lead. So Villopoto has passed about 5 riders on the opening lap and a half, trying to take off here at Unadilla.
He's inspired. He's obviously comfortable and more confident here. Kawasaki taking a little risk, going with the 2012 machine, and it is definitely paying off at this point.
And Alessi having a rough ride, being bumped around on these massive obstacles here at Unadilla. He has lost ground, and this is going to allow Villopoto to race his own race, Jeff. And how much of an advantage is it to be up front like this?
Oh, at this point, really, because he's got a clear track, not use any tear-offs. He can get into his pace. Dungey, if he wants to get up there close to Villopoto, he still has to work his way past Alessi and a very quick Justin Barcia.
It is not going to be easy. This is going to be a good one. So stay with us as Alessi, Barcia, Dungey, Reed, Weimer, Metcalfe, and the best of the motocross world battle for victory here at Unadilla. There's the mechanics area. They're pretty nervous. This race is just getting started, but it is close already. You're going to... Battle is on here. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, all up for grabs. You're watching NBC Sports live coverage of the Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship. The man with the #1 in the yellow bike is Ryan Dungey. He won this race last year. He won the championship last year. He's riding well this year, but the competition has definitely stepped up around him, especially today.
Yeah, it has, and he's trying to chase down a rookie to this class. Justin Barcia, 17, riding that red factory Honda. His first ride on a 450 here today. His starts have been the key thing to put him in a good position.
And then he took advantage of that good position to take over second. Take us through this, Jeff.
Watch Barcia to the inside, just hammers the throttle, and you know he's got to love having the power of that 450 after riding the smaller engine, the 250, for most of his career here.
So that drops Alessi to third and then quickly fourth. Here comes Dungey around the outside.
Yeah, just finding the smooth line right now, carrying some more momentum, and this inside has really got a hook in it. It has not been working here in the second moto.
And explain what that hook is there that Alessi ran into.
Yeah, you go into the turn instead of a nice smooth apex around the turn. It's got a little hit to it. Stops your momentum. The question is now that Dungey has worked himself up into third is can he get past Barcia and can he make a move on Ryan Villopoto? Because Villopoto is out front setting a 2:08 lap time. And Dungey comes by with a 2:09.
Let's talk about these two. You got Jake Weimer, that's Ryan Villopoto's teammate on the Monster Energy Kawasaki. They're debuting a brand new bike today, that 2012, and it has paid off. Weimer riding, I'd say, his best races of the year. A great performance in Moto 1, strong in Moto 2, and look who he's holding off. Chad Reed, the man who led the series standings all the way up until our previous race on the tour. Reed just can't seem to get the rhythm back.
Yeah, and that's really what it's about. And I loved his comment there when Tina was with him, and he told us straight up, this is the deal. I've got a little block in my head. Mentally, my horrific crash from Millville is it's taking its toll on me, and I need to unlock that, and it's all him. Bike, team, everything's great. It's the mental side of it here that is now so important for Chad Reed. If he wants to get himself back in this title chase.
Well, the first thing he's got to do is try to get around Weimer, and today Weimer has proven awfully tough to pass. Reed knows it firsthand. Here we go uphill.
I've been really impressed with Weimer here today, and you know, oh, here we go.
Got to be impressed with Dungey over that big sky shot. Draws up alongside Barcia. Barcia likes this inside line. Oh, but he makes a mistake. Will that open the door for Dungey?
Dungey made the same mistake, different line. Wheel to wheel. Now Dungey's got a little line. Can he go down the inside?
Oh, and it's so hard to stop for this corner. You see them locking up the brakes. Both able to negotiate it, but Dungey not able to take advantage of that mistake by Barcia. He's still in the #3 spot.
But Dungey always is just so patient and so strategic, okay? He doesn't seem to have a sense of urgency, and I think that you misread how bad he wants the championship and how hard he's working for it. But you can definitely see a difference, whereas the beginning of the race, the first 2 laps, Villopoto,
yeah,
he was a madman, passing riders instantly, not waiting. Dungey settling into a pace, taking his time. The problem is that Villopoto, not only is he out front, but he's out front setting the fastest lap times. So it's really hard to catch the guy when he's doing that. Villopoto turned to 2:07. Barcia and Dungey at 2:10. So now Dungey already 12 seconds behind the leader.
Tina, what do you have down there trackside?
Well, you guys are talking about the fast lap times of Villopoto, and I talked to Mike Fisher, who's the team manager over at Kawasaki, about why the change of bike so late in the game, and he said, it's this simple, it's a better bike. Villopoto's times on the laps improved. In fact, the times in a longer period improved. And from the time Villopoto left the truck to the track, he liked it immediately, and that's why the change.
Yeah, and I mentioned earlier that I thought that Kawasaki took a risk, and the risk is using a new bike with very little time on it. They obviously are very confident in this machine because only one time that I can remember when Grant Langston was on that Yamaha, they put him on a new bike, the next year's bike, before the previous year was over. Kawasaki is obviously confident with what they've done. Jake Weimer is having the best day of the season. Okay, to me, he looks more confident, and Villopoto, well, he's out front, won the first one. He's led the most laps today. He's led the most laps this year. So a lot of good stuff happening for that Monster Energy Kawasaki team.
Yeah, Chad Reed doesn't want to hear anything about that. He's on the red bike, the Honda, and he just wants to get around Weimer. He would like to be up there battling Weimer's teammate Villopoto for the lead, but it has not come together for the 29-year-old from Australia today. But here he goes to the inside on Weimer.
This line's good, too. if he can double over, it's going to be a drag race to the top of the hill.
Reed's going to have the inside of the next corner. Will he push Weimer all the way wide? No. This allows Weimer to get back on him. Downhill we go.
Oh, and Weimer gets out in the soft sub. Oh, Reed goes down.
Unbelievable. Reed had the pass made and goes down. He's going to get passed also by the number 10 of Brayton. There goes Metcalfe. And that's the kind of day it has been for Chad Reed. Unbelievable. Championship points just slipping through his fingers with that. He had the pass complete. Take us through this.
Yeah, watch. He gets down here, gets in pretty clean, and rut kind of breaks away right in this area here, and rear wheel kind of skips over, and you can see the riders actually, the whole line changed right then by Reed blowing that berm out.
And meanwhile, smooth sailing for Ryan Villopoto, who continues to set fast, smooth laps on a very, very rough racetrack. About an hour away from Syracuse University. So if you want to come up here next year, plenty of great things to see. Not only the Carrier Dome, but the entire campus grounds. Cooperstown, New York, not too far from here either. Come see us next year. Good to go. Nearly 30,000 fans lining the hillsides here at Unadilla, watching the best motocross riders race the best motocross bikes. But check out some riders driving in off-road trucks. Check this out.
All right, we're here at Lucas Oil Short Course Off-Road Race.
Sounded like a fun idea and a good way to go spend an off weekend having fun racing. And next thing you know, I'm in the truck, strapped in, and here we are.
Ricky, you've had a chance to get out there a couple times. How you liking it?
Yeah, it's good. You know, I've had like 2 practice days in the truck, and feeling it out. It's a lot of fun. It's harder than it looks.
I'm excited. I figured I got a roll cage. That should be all right.
Yeah, all you got to do is tighten the seatbelts down. If you flip over, at least you know you're not going to.
Well, one thing you do need to know is this paperwork that Heavy signed is you're liable for the damages. So it could get expensive if you get too sketchy.
Had a incident in a corner out there, ended up rolling I think like twice in a corner and put her up on edge. We broke a tie rod, so I wasn't able to finish. It's all fun. It's all racing. It's you know, I'm a competitive person, so no matter what it is, endurocross, you know, trucks, it's all fun for me.
All right, Ricky Dietrich right now is running 10th in this race and Nick Way in 12th. So that's the teammates on that Rockstar Valley Motorsports Yamaha team, showing they can get it done on 4 wheels as well as 2. These guys like to race, no doubt. You give them an off weekend, they will find somewhere to do battle. Justin Barcia continues to hold off Ryan Dungey. This is a race for the number 2 position today. And Barcia, 19 years old, is riding like a veteran, even though it's his first race ever in this 450 class.
First race, second moto, obviously. What I'm impressed with is they now have up to pace. It's the fastest pace on the track, faster than Villopoto last lap around by about a half a second. And that tells me that Barcia fending off the charge here by Ryan Dungey, but it's, oh, look at that big mistake there by Dungey. The rear wheel skipping out on him a bit.
And Barcia in the 250 class where he normally rides is known as being one of the most aggressive riders out there. He'll block you, he'll bump you. I don't know if he's going to play that way with Dungey since he doesn't factor into this championship, but he's definitely making it difficult for him to pass.
It's factoring in at the moment because it's allowing Dungey, or making Dungey, work for a second place and let the leader pull away, you know, so. And also, Dungey's taking a little more chances than normal. As we look at the top of the screen there's 10 minutes, about 10:30 plus 2 laps to go in this moto.
Right.
And like I said earlier, it's not guaranteed that Dungey's going to be able to make his way past him, not at the pace that Barcia is running right now, and that could be he could play a real spoiler in the points chase.
And point out what Dungey is dealing with by being stuck behind Barcia is the roost. Talk about that.
Well, the roost and the energy, having to ride so much harder. and take more chances. And Villopoto already passed the finish line here at the top of Gravity Cavity. He backed it back down to a 2:09, and Barcia comes by with the 2:10. So now they've kind of swapped it up a little bit, and Dungey at 2:11. So now he lost a couple more seconds on the leader.
And that roost is the debris being kicked up by the back tires. And at this track, most of the riders say it hurts more than just about any other place we race.
Well, there's these little small rocks in this. Well, and there's some big ones in there too, but they've done a good job over the years of keeping the topsoil, taking it and putting it back on the race surface. And in qualifying practice, it's really mulchy and it's really nice. But now that the track is starting to harden up a little bit, the rocks kind of find their way to the top. So now the roost becomes more rocky than it is mulchy and, you know, mud.
Does that mean it hurts more?
Oh, yeah.
And the guy feeling it right now is the number 10 of Justin Brayton. He is close to the back of the 32 of Jake Weimer. This is a battle for 5th, and not too far behind them is the number 24 of Brett Metcalfe, and they are all in front of Chad Reed, who went down. He was leading this group. He crashed. The 3 of them got by Reed. So basically a 4-rider duel for the number 5 position. Brayton on the Muscle Milk Toyota Joe Gibbs Racing Yamaha, and the Monster Energy Kawasaki of Weimer. And then it's the Rockstar Suzuki of Metcalfe. So a lot of different teams and manufacturers looking for a piece of the top 5 today.
Notre Dame Saturday.
Great race here between 3 riders, Justin Brayton, Jake Weimer, and Brett Metcalfe for 5th. There you see them all hopping, skipping, jumping up this big uphill in upstate New York's Unadilla Valley Sports Center. Weimer here putting in one of his best rides of the year, but he did lose a spot to Brayton while we were away at break. Take us through this one, Jeff.
Here, Brayton following Weimer in, and it's Weimer's mistake here exiting the turn as he misses his line, gets a little high side, so he's not able to double cleanly up on that little step-up double. Brayton hits it perfectly, just puts the power to the ground, makes the pass.
All right, so you got the Yamaha of Brayton in front of the Kawasaki of Weimer, and now the Suzuki of Metcalfe. Oh, and Brayton has gone down, and all that work he put in to get to 5th, he's just thrown it away, and Chad Reed says thank you very much. Remember, Reed crashed there earlier in the photo. Yeah,
same spot. It looks like Brayton there, his clutch lever, which is on the left side of the handlebars, the bracket it's been bent up, so he's trying to hammer that back down and put his clutch lever position in the right spot.
Hey folks, be sure to check out AliMotoshop.com. That's your home for official series and rider merchandise for AMA Pro Motocross. They carry rider t-shirts from the likes of Trey Canard, that man right there, Chad Reed, Ryan Dungey, Andrew Short, and your race leader, Ryan Villopoto, amongst others, and a lot of other great motocross products. So if you want to get to the track and get ready, go to the AliMotoshop.com. Well, Chad Reed will gladly take the gift position from Justin Brayton, but at the beginning of the year it seemed like Reed was always able to rebound when he needed to. Unfortunately today here at Unadilla he's not been able to do it. You see he would not even be in the top 5 in overall points for the day right now. So Reed, it's getting into desperation time. He can ill afford to lose much more ground in the championship to the likes of Villopoto and Dungey.
Yeah, and Reed came into the day 9 points off the lead, and at one point he had close to a 20-point lead.
Metcalfe has caught up to Weimer again. So now it's a battle for 5th after we've lost Brayton from this train. Metcalfe is a veteran out of Australia. Actually finished 2nd in this series last year to Dungey. Struggled a bit through the first half of the year, but he has been riding strong in the latter stages of 2011, and Weimer knows it because everywhere he goes, Metcalfe is right there applying the pressure.
Boy, relentless at this point, and Weimer just taking the roost off the back, or Metcalfe taking the roost off the back of Weimer's bike. And you can see he's really looking around, trying to find some new lines as the track is really rutted up. It gets bumps in it, it gets ruts in it, and it makes it hard to
Whoa, they get together, and they both go down. I believe that was incidental contact, and Reed may pick up more positions. He does. So Chad Reed got what he was looking for. Who's going to get up first?
Looks like Metcalfe has a little problem. Oh, there's more hay bales down.
Brayton missed the line because Weimer was there, so Brayton might get the 2 positions back that he lost when he crashed. What a race here.
And it looked like to me that Metcalfe, he fell on the right side of the bike and that there was an issue with the throttle. Now, normally if it falls in hard, it pushes the throttle housing and all that in, and the throttle will stick. So it looked like he was hammering on his bike a lot like Brayton was, trying to bend the clutch lever back into the right area.
All four of those riders in that battle, Reed, Brayton, Weimer, Metcalfe, have all crashed. These two riders are putting in solid rides. No crashes for them. The positions haven't changed either. It's still Barcia and Dungey. Take us through this Metcalfe and Weimer battle.
Yeah, Weimer goes to square it up, and the rear tire squirts out just a little bit off the top of the berm, and Metcalfe was just going to kind of roll next to him through the berm, through that turn, and small mistake. I do believe that it was, incidental.
Unbelievable. So Reed's going to pick up a few spots. Dungey unable to pick up this one spot. He has been behind Barcia the whole way, and we got to give credit to the 19-year-old Justin Barcia in his first race in motocross on a big 450 is riding amongst the best in the world and doing a great job of it.
With the high cost of fuel these days,
an amazing ride for this kid right here, the number 17 of Justin Barcia. He's a New York native, although he does make his racing and training home down in Georgia. The Honda team called him up from the 250 class to the premier 450 division for this race because everyone else on the team was out with injuries. And he has ridden a spectacular race. He is in second place and is holding off the defending champion, Ryan Dungey.
Yeah, fantastic ride for Barcia, but this thing's been like a slinky. It's been back and forth. Just when Barcia stretches it out, it closes back up, and Dungey looked like he was at the point where he's going to make a pass, and then he tries some new lines. The ruts here at Unadilla have got the best of him, and he made another mistake. You can see he's a few bike links off the pace now. And for Ryan Dungey, frustration is now setting in. Just a little over 2 laps to go, and he's having trouble making it past the rookie at this point.
All right, lots to watch here at Unadilla. Trax is the fastest name in radio control. Invited the Valley Motorsports Rockstar Yamaha team to take a spin in some of these RC cars yesterday. Fans got to check this action out as well. Veteran riders Jimmy Albertson, Nick Way, and Ricky Dietrich were the rookies behind the remote controls. Didn't take them long to get these high-performance RC cars to rip through the dirt and fly through the air in spectacular form. They're doing backflips with the cars. Traxxas is the official sponsor of the Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship. These guys had a whole bunch of fun. I was over there watching. I was hoping that they would maybe, give me a chance at it, but I don't think I could pry.
Were you doing the play-by-play?
Had to save myself for this. I mean, we got a good battle going right down to the end, and Dungey is still digging to try to get by Barcia, and he still can't make it happen.
And you'll notice some of the flaggers have the blue flags that they're waving on the side of the track. That's to let the lap riders, like the 851 here.
That's Phillips.
To let him know that the leading group is coming through. Now, of course, Villopoto is already out front. He's already lapped these riders, but this is the lead group, and so it's a courtesy flag. There's no real rule about it if you stay in the line, but it is a courtesy to other riders. And some of these riders taking a look back, seeing the leaders come through, clearing the fast line. But sometimes that's hard to do, and sometimes the lappers play a key part in the overall results.
Well, yeah, because the riders are catching up to here. The 67 of Travis Stool, you saw, he's in 17th. He's not going to pull over and stop. He's in a race of his own.
And you know what? Villopoto last lap around turned to 2:16. Barcia and Dungey were 2:12. They've now closed it up to within 5 or 6 seconds.
Yeah.
So not sure what has happened with Villopoto, but lap and a half to go. He needs to get going.
Well, he's stuck behind some of the riders who are about to go a lap down as well. The 942, the Australian Ty Simmons, in Villopoto's way just a bit there. And that Barcia-Dungey battle is beginning to draw closer to Villopoto. And fitness is definitely going to be a factor on this rough track.
Yeah, well, just when you think that Villopoto has a nice, comfortable lead, you've got a 2-rider battle that has been really intense. Each rider has just given it their all in this moto, and very little mistakes out of that second and third group. But a nice sight here for Villopoto when he sees the white flag. He'll know that there's only one more lap left on this extremely difficult Unadilla racetrack.
There's Barcia not too far back here in the last lap, and he continues to hold Dungey at bay. This championship is...
Barcia off the track.
Uh-oh. And he manages to get back on. Now, the rule is as long as you don't gain an advantage from going off the track, if you re-enter where you were, you will not be penalized. And he re-entered right where he was, right in front of Dungey. So he's okay. Here comes Dungey.
Last lap, they almost touched. They're down. Barcia down. Unbelievable. Barcia ran such a spectacular race. And in the last lap, he might throw the podium position away. Can he get up and hold on for a top 3? Wow.
Barcia remounts the Honda. I am surprised. That looked like a really hard hit that Barcia took as he tried to jump to the left into the main line, but Dungey already had the momentum.
He is lucky to get away from that unscathed. Let's take us through it, Jeff.
Yeah, watch as Barcia tries to jump to the inside to block Dungey, but he's there. Look at that. Oh, Barcia, surprising that he even gets up because there's so much momentum coming down that jump, but just kind of slid out of it. Really lucky fall that he didn't get hurt.
Yeah, and it helps to be the 19-year-old wild child. He's pretty flexible. He's pretty tough. We've seen him take some big hits. And all this going on, Ryan Villopoto doesn't know a thing about it.
I mean, think about that for Dungey, too. I mean, if that had gone the opposite way, they could have just thrown away the title there. Wow.
Well, here's the story on a very difficult racetrack here in upstate New York, arguably the toughest that they will face all year. Almost everyone in the top 10 has gone down at some point. Dungey barely escaped. Barcia's had a crash. Reed has had a crash. Weimer, Brayton. So many riders. The man who was consistent throughout this race that minimized the mistakes is Ryan Villopoto.
And my question was, by Kawasaki switching to the 2012 bike, how would Ryan Villopoto be at the end of Moto 2? Because that's where he's had a little struggle.
No problem at all.
1-1.
Absolutely.
Led the most laps. He dominates Unadilla.
Undefeated on the new bike, Ryan Villopoto wins Unadilla by taking both of the 2 motos. And Ryan Dungey able to escape with a second place finish, but he was lucky with that one because Justin Barcia gave him everything he had in a fantastic race down to the finish. Stay with us.
He's my boyfriend.
For the hour, the second half of our Allied doubleheader from Portland, Oregon as the Dew Tour in the Pacific Northwest. Today, we'll have the finals of Skate Street live on NBC. For now, we send it back to Unadilla.
All right, thanks, Todd. I know Todd's a big motocross fan. He probably wishes he was here, and just as we could wish we could watch the Dew Tour out there in Portland. Meanwhile, Ryan Villopoto has won both motos here at Unadilla. He is your overall winner today. He makes the math very easy by sweeping the 2 races. We'll show you the race recap and tell you exactly how he did it. Here's the real battle. First, Ryan Villopoto at the top of the screen takes over the lead from Mike Alessi. Behind them, you got Justin Barcia and Ryan Dungey, and those two have battled throughout the day. Here's Chad Reed trying to make his way through traffic. He gets around Jake Weimer to take over 5th and then goes down. Man, so Reed gives over a handful of championship points. You don't think he's going to get those back, right? But watch this. Jake Weimer and Brent Metcalfe crash together. And by the time they untangle themselves, Reed on the red bike is going to cruise through and make up a little bit of ground. Then late in the race, Justin Barcia goes off the track. He's under pressure from Ryan Dungey, and then they come together on the landing of a jump, and Barcia goes down hard. Luckily, the 19-year-old was able to get up and salvage 3rd. Ryan Villopoto wins the race. Dungey escapes with a 2nd place finish. We'll show you the results here. The Ryans sweep it again. They have been 1-2 the last couple of races. This time, though, it's Villopoto getting the edge over Dungey, who had won the last 2 races on the tour. Great finish for Barcia. Reed salvages the 5th. Let's send it down to the podium with Tina Dixon.
Thanks, and Ryan, there were people questioning your decision to change bikes so late in the game. How would you sum it up for you, though? It's your birthday, and to win not only the first moto, but finally the second moto where you've had problems.
Yeah, you know, it's awesome. The team came to us and said, hey, we have this option. You know, Europe's running it, and we said, yeah, let's try it because we were struggling, and we tried it, and we never looked back from then. As soon as we rode it, we knew that it was better. We worked on it, and you know, I just can't thank everybody at Monster Energy Kawasaki. You know, Dunlop tires, Thor, Parts Unlimited, Oakley, you know, my trainer, my fiance, everybody. Thank you, guys.
Well, congratulations, happy birthday, and enjoy this win.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, he's happy. He's got the points lead. That's a heck of a gift for your birthday. He'll continue to carry that red plate into the upcoming rounds of the tour. And let's show you some upcoming events on the Ally Sports schedule with NBC. Of course, coming up next, the Portland Invitational. Then it's the Toyota Challenge on September 10th and the 11th. And the Dew Tour Championships in Las Vegas in October. Check it all out at allysports.com, and we'll be right back with more motocross from upstate New York when we return live on NBC.
In the late 70s, I was...
The Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross. Nearly 30,000 fans on hand here to watch the action at Unadilla. Here are your overall results after 2 races are tabulated. Villopoto, Dungey, Barcia make the math easy. Reed and Alessi inside the top 5. Let's send it back down to the podium with Tina.
That's right, and Ryan, you were hanging in 3rd for most of the race, but talk about that crash when Barcia went down. What did you see?
I don't know, just trying to make the pass, and I don't know, but just really tried to ride a good race. I got stuck behind there for the whole race, but it's a little disappointing. But we got another weekend off. We think we can work on a few things, and but overall on the day, I'm happy. We pushed it, and days like today, we need to make the most of it. But for the most part, we had fun. Thank you, Team Rockstar, Makita Suzuki, everybody, and all fans and family.
Congrats for finishing up on the podium.
And Dungey tries to keep his chin up, but he's not happy to come out here and finish 2nd to Villopoto and go from 1 point back in the series now to 7. And Chad Reed, 25 points back. You win at a moto, you only win 25 points. So he's got a big gap to make up. Let's send it back down to the podium with the new kid, Justin Barcia.
That's right, Justin. You were in 2nd for most of the race. Crashing there at the end, what happened?
Yeah, it was a crazy race for sure. First 450 race, I was trying really hard. Mine and Dungey's line came together. There was a lap around the other side. Couldn't go anywhere. He kind of clipped the side of me, and we had a pretty hard crash for me anyway. I think he's got some sore feelings, so I don't know what the deal is with that. But go back home, train hard, come back 2 weeks. Southwick, one of my favorite tracks, and just the whole Honda team. I'm so pumped to be on that team and for them to give me that opportunity.
Best of luck moving forward.
We have got a new player in the 450 division of the Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship, and he's only going to get better and better. Coming up next, of course, don't miss defending Skate Street champion Paul Rodriguez and Action Sports Best as they invade the streets of Portland. It's the Portland Invitational. Next at NBC, we got an Ally Sports doubleheader here, and the first half is pretty much complete. Jeff, what do you think of the racing at Unadilla today?
It's been incredible. They've made some changes to the track. The surface was just it was just fantastic for racing here today. It was challenging for the riders, and of course this huge crowd that we have on hand was true to do a pretty interesting 450 moto there.
In the rugged sport of motocross, it's often the rider that makes it look the easiest that comes out on top, and that's what Ryan Villopoto did today, avoiding the crashes and mistakes that plagued his competition. So congratulations to the kid from Washington who's got the victory. And thank you for watching. For Tina Dixon and Jeff Emig, I'm Jason Wygant. We'll catch you next time as Ally Sports continues their coverage on NBC. Stay with us. The Portland Invitational up next.